Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch here, host of the Bodybuilding News Network. Welcome back to another episode, the third episode today, I think. So I hope you guys enjoy the more frequent content as we are pumping it out. 8 weeks out from the Arnold Classic. Some exciting news here from the runner-up at this year's Mr. Olympia in the men's open bodybuilding, former 212 Mr. Olympia champion Derik Lunsford was recently on the Fouad Abiod media podcast. If you haven't watched that, definitely do. I'm almost done. I've got like 30 minutes left, so I'll definitely finish it up after this video. But I was able to snag a nice and interesting statement here from Derik Lunsford about his thoughts about competing at this year's Arnold Classic and what him and his coach Hani Rambod are probably going to plan for the 2023 season. So take a listen and then we will discuss it just after.
Where we place next year, I don't know. I do believe that I could be the next guy in line. That's what I'm working for. That's what I'm hoping for. And as far as any other shows between now and the Olympia, I told Hani that I would be willing to do the Arnold. I would like to do it. Okay. But at the same time, I don't want it to take away from this next year's Olympia. And he's in agreement with that. He said, no, I want you to make solid improvements for the Olympia. We have 11 months between this one and the next one, that we need to make as much progress as possible. You know, there's a chance that we may put it together like a game plan to do the Arnold and then a short off season in Olympia. But we haven't discussed whether we want to do that or just off season. So let me ask you.
And after listening to that, I didn't really get a warm and fuzzy here from Derik Lunsford about whether or not he's going to do the Arnold Classic. Now, in my opinion, if he does decide to stay out of the Arnold Classic and use the full, I think he said almost 11 months of off-season and prep for next year's Olympia, I genuinely think he's going to have kind of the Phil Heath syndrome, where he's probably going to win the Mr. Olympia in the men's open. And who knows if he's ever going to do an Arnold Classic again. If he's going to remain in that top two, you know, very few people recently who have placed at 1 and 2 do the Arnold Classic. So kind of my thought taking away as we transition to the next topic here is I really do hope he does do the Arnold Classic before he wins the Mr. Olympia. Because once he has that title, once he has a Sandow, I don't expect him to compete again outside of the Mr. Olympia. So that's my thought. Definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions on Derik Lunsford and whether or not he's going to compete at this year's Arnold Classic. Next up, we have an somewhat exciting story from Akim Williams. Now, Akim, besides the 1 year he placed top 6 at the Olympia, has been one of these guys who just never hits the mark when it comes to contest prep. And there has been some conversation, there's been some speculations on whether or not he's going to get an Arnold Classic invite. Now, you have to think we're 8 weeks out, so he could, very well hop into the Arnold Classic. But you have to remember, points are gone. So if he's not going to win, what's the point of competing? If he doesn't feel that he is going to be competitive in the lineup, what's the point of competing? I think that's going to be a very interesting thing we're going to learn this year is a lot of people are not going to hop into a show thinking, okay, if I can just crack the top 3, I might be able to snag some points. So if I do 7 shows this year, I might qualify on points. And that's no shade towards Steve Kuklo or Justin Rodriguez. I know that they qualified on points, but you're not going to have those opportunities this year. So these guys, phenomenal athletes are going to have to be very strategic about what shows they pick and what shows they skip. Skip. That kind of rhymes. Anyways, I think it's funny. But that's kind of my thoughts on Akim Williams. Definitely let me know your thoughts on his most recent physique update and the possibility of him competing at the Arnold. Now, another athlete I think that very much could show up at the Arnold and could be competitive. I might say a lot of bad things about the guy and be a critic of his physique, but Hunter Labrada could be one of these guys that's going to be in the conversation to compete at the Arnold Classic. You got to remember, he's 8 weeks out. I'll put this most recent physique update up here. from the Instagrams, from the interwebs. I'll put that up there for you. Now, I'm not too wowed here. I think he's pretty flat. I think the chest just doesn't have a lot of pop to it. Now, he is 8 weeks out, so he's probably going to try to fill up a little bit, maybe try to play the size game. Maybe he's going to play the conditioning game. I really don't know. I feel like historically the size game hasn't been rewarded for him, besides, the 4th place finish that he bought last year. I really don't think that playing the size game is going to work for him at this year's Arnold Classic. I genuinely think he probably should play the conditioning game, because you're going to have people like William Bonac potentially. We talked about him yesterday. He's probably going to do the Arnold Classic as well, and he's going to bring the size that he definitely has, and he's also going to bring the conditioning that is very, very good and looks phenomenal on him. So I really do want to see Hunter Labrada at the Arnold Classic. I think he brings some excitement. He brings a different look to Men's Open that a lot of competitors don't bring. So he definitely has a unique look, and I'd like to see him at the Arnold Classic. But that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for tomorrow morning. I was going to post it tonight, but seeing these physique updates, I wanted to get this video out first. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. PST, Pacific Standard Time, we will be posting the William Bonac Olympia recap, as well as the 8K footage review of exactly what happened with William Bonac and why he placed so badly, or not as good as we thought, at this year's 2022, or last year's technically, Mr. Olympia. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Definitely consider subscribing if you are new to the channel, and if you want to see more daily bodybuilding news here on the Bodybuilding News Network. I'm your host, as always, Josh Sanch, and I'll see you in the next one.